Hey everyone, hope you are all doing good. So we are back with the war videos. This is season 30 now. High ground, it should be interesting. And we are up against Salty in this first war. I have 5 fights this war, 3 of them with Doom and 2 with Torch, which allowed me to bring white mags as you see there. For pre-fights, so before the war I was told there's only one specific fight, which is actually my own, that the pre-fights are needed for, so I did have 2 spare, and I do end up using both of those as well, but not in this first fight. This is Red Goblin, so he benefits from the high ground tactic, but honestly it was kind of in my mind. At one point you'll see I throw some special ones, whatever, to just try and remove the high ground charges, but now looking back at how this fight ended up going, I wish I had just ignored high ground, taken that block damage and healed up, because it's connect transference and it's a cosmic champ, and you know, Doom should control this fight really easily. You know, you just get into the Doom cycle and it will go down, so the block damage from high ground would not have been that bad and I could have just healed it up. And you know, first fight of the season, you just want to go safe, and get your solos in. Unfortunately, as you see there, I have it under control. I have my special one, and there was a point where I would usually just double medium into a special one to get the drain, and then I could have parried or reparried from there and gone into the Doom cycle, but I don't know why I just went medium, light, and that pushed me to 2 bars when I tried to throw my first, and as a result I ate a special 3, so I had an invulnerability boost on, but as you can see, it doesn't matter because those incinerates are ticking. At this point I am rushing, just hoping I can squeeze it out, but we don't, and I am gutted. That was my first death of the season already on my very first fight of the season, and that was not even one of my problem fights for this war. When originally assigned them, this was not one that was supposed to give any problems. This should have been a straightforward Doom solo, and I find it is really annoying because my deaths since I've joined, most of them have been to fights that I should have under control. They're just, you know, silly little mistakes like those. They're not where I really struggle in a matchup, and you know, you can see like, okay, I couldn't handle that one, I should, you know, we can find a better solution next time. I think there's maybe 1 death to a domino last season where like that one's a bit of a tough fight and it was a bit more understandable, and then my other 2 deaths last season were just silly, and unfortunately I've given another one of those kind of deaths this season to start us off. We actually have quite a rough war in BG3. There was already 2 deaths before I'd given that one, which as you can see is quite early in the war, so the first war nerves were clearly there. And so what I do here is I'm taking 4 fights in a row at the moment at the start of the war. Things lined up nicely for me to just go for it, and with 3 of them being Doom fights, I put Mystic boosts on as well. But just to be safe, it's Vivified and Longshot. Obviously, I know with the special 2, I'm Incinerate immune, but with Vivified, there's a good chance, like, you know, you accidentally knock them to a special 3 if you're not careful. So I put the House of X pre-fight on this because I knew I needed to save Torch's Flame on pre-fight for a mini-boss later. I just wanted to be really safe while I'm still, you know, I took a moment to breathe between that last fight. Obviously it went down really quick in my second attempt with Doom, but I did want to just gather my composure a bit as well, and you know, just in case some of the pressure was still, you know, jangling my nerves from the last fight not going so well, I just put that House of X pre-fight here. Like I said, I knew I had 2 to spare, so I threw 1 on here just to be extra safe. But yeah, Torch melts that fight. And yeah, that's 2 fights down, so as I said, it lined up nice. Thank you to Strands, and I think it was Tarfrey on path 7 who managed to use that energy, and that meant I could just get 4 fights done in one of my 5 in one go before sleeping. And therefore, you know, just know as well, like I said, 3 of them being Doom fights, I could just chuck some Mystic boosts on for extra damage. So yeah, this 3rd fight, there's not really much to say. It's just really straightforward Doom fight, and I guess that was really nice actually, because it's just another fight where it should be really comfortable and I can continue, like I say, gaining that composure. You know, screwing up the first of 4 fights really doesn't help, so the nerves were still there-ish. But yeah, this is just, like I say, really straightforward and nothing to worry about. So we do get a nice clean solo here. Yeah, and that's about it for this fight. I'll be back for the next one, which the next fight is the one that before the war was the one expected to be my trickiest fight this war. It's a super skrull, and I will be back to voice over that one. Okay, so fourth and penultimate fight of the war is Super Skrull, as I mentioned. So he has buff and balance, rich get richer, divine barrier, so he gains buffs very frequently, so you know, literally constantly. Every time you hit him, he's going to gain a fury. I think if you hit his block, maybe he gets armor, something along those lines. So that with rich get richer means his power is quite difficult to control. I thankfully also have been assigned Doom to help do that. And he also has the divine barrier, so that means every, I think, 10 seconds he's going to go nullify immune for a short period. He also can get falter, so you can't really rely on doing a normal Doom cycle here because there's a chance that it just doesn't line up. So the plan here was power start boost and then just special 1 spam, but you'll see even with special 1 spam, and when taking this fight I had 3 out of 5 MD. I was actually planning to go up to 5 out of 5, but the Mystic Cause came in store the next morning, and I was only just unlocking it, so I didn't have 5 out of 5, but this was actually quite hard to control at 3 out of 5, so I feel like if I did have 5 out of 5 MD, that probably would have meant going into special 3 cycles and just really being careful around the falter. So to trigger the falter, you either have to hit into him or you can hit his block, and then it lasts for literally a second. So I think the special 3 cycle would have been fine, especially with 5 out of 5 MD, just meaning you get there really quickly. But yeah, the main thing is just control his buffs, control his power, obviously, which controlling buffs will help contribute to that. And yeah, he's Incinerate immune, so obviously bear in mind you're not going to be able to do big damage off the special 2, so don't expect to throw one towards the end and finish him with it. And he also, I think unblockable specials do not work on him, so they won't be unblockable, so you want to be throwing these special ones chained onto the end of combos or in openings like that. So those, those were kind of the things to be aware of before I went into this fight. So yeah, I'll let the rest of it play out. I will say as well, I do get the solo, but as you can see, it's a bit of a shaky fight, and like I say, with 5 out of 5 MD, I feel next time would be a slightly different plan in terms of going for special 3 cycles and also still managing his buffs with light attacks and special ones, getting some heavies in as well for the staggers. And this might be one I would try to use a House of X pre-fight on in the future, just so I get the extra stun duration to make sure I'm landing those heavies, because he's shock immune as well, so I can't do a medium, put the shock on him and then passive heavy off that. So yeah, as you can see, this can be a tricky fight with a lot of things to think about, but like I say, I get the solo and I would be confident of replicating that in future. Well, getting the solo again, but maybe not doing that exact plan there. Like I say, now that I've got 5 out of 5 MD, the plan could be slightly different. And yeah, I was happy to solo that one in the end. So this is the 5th and final fight of the war. It's Iron Man Infinity War mini-boss with Brute Force. For we'll wait for the node to pop up, I think. He's got enhanced auto block and evade. I can't remember what the name of the node is. He's also got Limber, so yeah, House of X pre-fight here to get the passive stuns, and Flame On as well, because you do not want to be incinerating him, or that will speed up the high ground timer, because he does benefit from high ground. Best defense, that's the node, with the enhanced auto blocks and evades. So yeah, this is another one that I thought, if my combos aren't timed well, you know, the high ground damage could get annoying, so I've chucked on a regen boost just to be safe. But Torch melts it. He does really, really well here. And yeah, there was no need to worry in the end. He takes care of it comfortably. I planned my combos around high ground to time out as well quite well. Though I think there is one point where he does get up to like 2 charges. But yeah, it's manageable. You can afford to take the block damage. I put the regen boost on as well to help deal with that. But I think the regen boost does actually finish before high ground becomes even an issue, really. Yeah, there you go. See, look, it ends there, and I've not taken that blocked hit yet. So it was actually not doing anything there, but yeah, healed back whatever little bit I would have lost of those first parries. And yeah, as you can see, look how quick he's going down. Torch pre-fight and House of X pre-fight as well. Just makes it a really smooth matchup. Here, I would have saved the special 3 for his final 15%, where he obviously gets then more auto blocks in. But I knew he was melting already, and I figured with the extra Nova Flames it would just tick away. And just look at that, 11 smolders as well, so he melts. And yeah, overall I'd say 3 really solid fights, clean fights. Super Skrull, a good fight despite being a bit shaky. It's a tricky matchup, so it did well there. And then obviously that first fight, horrific. I'm very disappointed about that, but you know, I keep my chin up and I move on. Here's just a little my contribution to the boss fight. I had one House of X pre-fight spare, so chuck it on, and that's it. That's all I did to contribute to the boss. This is the stats after I've taken my fights. As you can see, I woke up in the morning and took my fights, and we were quite comfortably in the lead, so that was reassuring and it feels better. This is how our battle group finished. 6 deaths is very poor and something we will have to improve, and that's the final thing for our alliance. BG1, congratulations on your donut. BG2, well done as well, solid showing with just 2 deaths, and yeah, in BG3, 6 deaths. We know we need to step it up, but if there's a war to get your mistakes out in, this was the one, because it was a comfortable win. No disrespect to Salty, you know, big well done to you guys. They actually started quite solid, but unfortunately for their point of view, it did fall apart a bit, and it was honestly probably a bit of a matchup. Our war rating did plummet at the end of last season, towards the end, where we had those 5 losses. But yeah, this was a good war to start with, good win to start the season, and hopefully Masters at the end of it. We've got to really bring our A game, so enjoy, and yeah, take care. I'll see you in the next video.